right up against that thing they want. And because our children are geniuses, the next time you say to them, I see you're out of bed. You must not be tired. No, I think I'm tired. Or, do you want to clean your room, or do you want me to clean? Of course, they're going to choose to clean their own room. Now, choices will even work for pre-verbal children. We have two. And so when they're on the floor in a puddle, I'm just completely engulfed in my emotions. I don't know if I'm going to recover from this one. Let's say, fun or room? Pick up the child as they're still having a meltdown, put them in the room. If they come out and they're fun, good job, you get to stay up. If they're still melting down, fun or room? Go back in the room. Repeat the process until they finally recover. So that's how choices can work with little ones. Finally, using the right vocabulary will make all of this easier. Children come pre-programmed from a very early age to know how to push your buttons. It's an amazing thing. But a few simple phrases can fix that. They are, that could be, probably so, I know, I don't know, and nice try. So here's some examples of how this works. I'm sick of you. You never let me do what I want. Probably so. That's not fair. I know. What do you mean you know? You must be the stupidest parent in the world. That could be. Well, what are you going to do something about that? I don't know. Well, I'm going to go find new parents. Nice try. It diffuses the situation instead of flying off the handle at the disrespect and the disobedience. A simple little phrase will diffuse the situation. Two more very powerful phrases are no problem and oh no, what are you going to do? Now Danny says that no problem really means no problem for me, possible problem coming up for you. For instance, you tell your child to pick up the toys. I'm not going to pick up my toys. No problem. As you go get a trash bag, pick up all the toys for them and put it in the closet. What are you going to do with my toys? Well, you get to earn them back now by doing extra chores around the house. No problem for you, big problem for them as they try to earn back their toys. The next time you ask them to pick up the toys, they're probably going to pick up their toys. They'll pull that out of their memory. Yeah, I didn't like that last time. All right. Oh no, what are you going to do? Is a great way to begin training your children to solve their own problems. And if they don't know how to solve their own problems, to ask for help. For instance, if your child says, I dropped my fork, I need some more water, can't figure out this math problem, you can say, oh no, what are you going to do? Gives your child a few minutes to think through their problem. Instead of bringing it to you, expecting you to instantly solve it for them, give them the opportunity to rise up within themselves and find the solution to their problem with minimal effort on your part. Now, if they draw a blank, you can always say, would you like some help? I might have some ideas for you. Allows your children to kind of recover from their lack of thinking, set them on a path towards independence. So as you can see, loving on purpose offers children a significant amount of freedom and personal responsibility. We as parents should not want to make every decision for our child or help them through every problem they face. By offering weighty consequences for poor choices, we can prepare our children for the real world. And by using the right words, we can effectively communicate with our children and help them make good choices throughout their lives. Thank you.
Timer, give us a minute. Once again, there's a sheet in front of you to give general feedback to Jesse. My question for you, Jesse. Sarah did, my wife did a very similar study called Love and Logic. And it sounds like a lot of the same material. So what is it that you have done in attempting to initially implement this approach from a mental standpoint?
It's just a lot of trial and error, especially with my son, because the consequences will work a couple times and then he gets eaten. Like one of the consequences, he would just jump up from the table and leave all his plate and stuff there. You can clearly take care of it. So the consequence was, we'll do that for you for a piece of Easter candy. Well, that only lasted a few times, and he's like, oh, you can have cookie. All right, but that would be a consequence. So it's just a trial and error, trying to figure out what's a good consequence that will motivate, and having just a good repertoire of consequences.
Sure. Okay.
All right,
Jeremy's-
we got 1 minute.
It's been very good. All right, at this point, we'll turn it over to Jessica, who is our topics master for today. Have her bring forth her questions and challenges all. Let's welcome Jessica. Yeah.
Well, my job as table topics master is to present a problem or situation, and it allows members that I call on to give an impromptu speech about it. So our topic for today is heat exhaustion. Sorry, beat the heat. So my first question. You want to educate young adults or children about how to avoid being diaphoretic and heat exhaustion. You think of creating a game that will be interesting and the best way to teach them about this. So my question is, what is the game? Is it a board game, card game, trivia, video game maybe? And how do you play this game? You can choose Matt.
I had to train children to prepare themselves for the environment, the heat exhaustion, how to do that with a game. I guess it depends on the age of the children. Video games seem to apply to a large range. However, I don't foresee myself inventing a video game to teach them to stay hydrated, so I would probably look at, depending again on the age group, I'm thinking young kids, I would think more of like a game with cards, and maybe looking at having them recognize different states of heat exhaustion through pictures on cards. And to kind of speak to Jesse's training, have rewards and consequences for, obviously if we're playing a game, it can't be too bad because it's not a game anymore. But trying to train children to understand the importance, I think you have to emphasize some sort of lesson or some sort of consequence. And I think a lot of people, especially kids, learn really well visually. So if you could do something with cards, with pictures, and make it interesting and fun with rewards and some slight consequences, nothing that's going to leave a bad impression or